Selling lies and buying time, killing people next in line. Lower class and social slime, they don't matter. Genocide, sick from water, sick from air. Making money, they don't care. Caesar shit, force of air. Fuck them back, it's only for they bomb. They shoot, they kill, they massacre, rape. They burn the kids, no one makes countries. Lie to your face, fight and die. Cause God forgives. Selling lies and buying time, killing people next in line. Lower class and social side, they don't matter. Genocide, sick from water, sick from air. Making money, they don't care. See their shit, force of air. Fuck them back, that's only fair. They bomb, they shoot, they kill, they massacre, rape. They burn the kids, no one leaves countries. Lie to your face, fight and die, cause God forgives. Yeah. Coming back around again.
Okay, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Ron Stevens. This is Game On UCY.TV, and this is my first Tuesday show. So I'm going to be doing a show Tuesdays 7 to 8 and Thursdays 7 to 8, and the regular show on Sunday from noon till 2, and that's all Eastern Standard Time. So that's what we're going to do. And, excuse me, it's election time here in Canada. Hot damn, I guess. And so I'm just going to take a boo at some of what's cooking here. Now, there's a big push on here for the NDP, because people are apparently sick of the Liberals and sick of the Conservatives and Mr. Harper's government. I can see their point, but I've been looking around at Facebook, and I'm a little bit concerned about these NDPers. I really, truly am. Excuse me. It's like a club of lunatics or something. They hate Harper. They make no bones about it. Mr. Harper is the Canadian Antichrist, according to these people. But what I don't get is when you lay out some reality to them, they don't want to hear it. I find that rather disturbing. So I've been pounding away at these NDPers because, they think that by voting NDP, everything is going to be wunderbar here in so-called Canada, because the NDP care about the people, whereas Harper doesn't. The NDP cares about the environment, where Harper doesn't. Everything bad that's going on here, they lay at the feet of Harper, because he is evil. He's a traitor. He's a dog. They can't come up with enough names to call Mr. Harper. And I don't disagree with them. on all of that stuff. The problem is when you try to explain to the NDPers that their leader, Mr. McClare, or Mulcair, kind of a strange name, that if they elect him, and if he's elected, this will be totally a decision that was made prior to any election, right? As we all know, the guy that gets in is the one that's picked to get in, because they use the guys who they can sell particular agendas. So, there's this election is a race between the NDP and the Conservatives. The problem is, regardless of which one wins, you lose. That's a given. So the NDPers seem to have this problem, not understanding that they're going to lose regardless. Their NDP leader is not going to fix the environment. He's not going to fix the economy. Okay, it's just going to roll on the same way with a different twist. Okay, so he'll continue to trash the economy in order to save the environment, which is the plan. I mean, the plan was stated a long time ago by Morris Strong. It isn't the only hope for the planet that the industrialized West countries collapse. Isn't that our responsibility to help bring that about? Now, he's the guy who started UNEP through the UN, and so. His goal, or not his goal in particular, but his handler's goal is to destroy the West and Sovietize it, socialize it. So, and Harper's been doing his job. I mean, he's been doing what he's supposed to do, but he's right-wing, so he has to go about this a little bit differently. I mean, it was the Conservatives that signed us on to Agenda 21, back in 92, under Mulroney. Morris Strong managed to jump into the Privy Council in 1992, and that's normally for elected people, but he was never elected, never did a day's public service, not in elected capacity anyways. So he managed to jump in there, and this is all the Queen's advisors. It's kind of ass backwards. They will relay to the Queen what's going on over here, but it's the Queen who's the head of state, so they make the final decisions of what the politicians are going to do, plain and simple. Now, the fact that all elected members take a oath of allegiance to the Queen, which is the Crown, which is a corporation, and you can include Rome in that. And Canada, the corporation Canada, is a state of the UN, and the Queen is head of state of the corporation. So this idea that the politicians here can do what they want and act as Canada is a separate country is completely wrong. Now, I did stop in downtown. Our Liberal candidate here has an office on one of the main corners. So I stopped in there. I was talking to his manager, I guess, for that office, and was explaining to him, that, your Liberal leader, if he were to get in, he can't represent the people anyways. And he goes, well, of course he can. Well, no, he can't, because he takes an oath of allegiance to the Queen, Crown, Pope. And he said, no, that's just the cabinet that takes that oath. Well, he's wrong on that. And this campaign manager doesn't know the rules and doesn't know how this thing plays out. So either he's trying to hoodwink me or he's just ignorant of reality. So, we went through a bunch of this stuff, and I said, well, okay, let's just say, for instance, that it's just a cabinet that swears an oath of allegiance. What happens is the cabinet ends up in the Privy Council, because they're the board of directors of the corporation. The other members from that are not in the cabinet are basically water cooler boys, coffee boys, whatever. They're not really privy to what the hell the cabinet's doing. So the whole deal here is that, I said even if you're right and I'm wrong, which is not the case, and you say that only the cabinet takes an oath of allegiance to the Queen, where does that leave your boy? If the cabinet had taken an oath of allegiance to the Queen, Crown, Pope, then how is it your boy is going to be able to represent the people? Can't do it. It's impossible. What he was referring to, I think, with the cabinet was they end up in the Privy Council, and that gets worse over in the Privy Council because when they're elected, all elected officials, the police, the judges, everybody all those people take an oath of allegiance to the Queen. What happens with the cabinet is that they end up in the Privy Council, and there it gets really bad because there they take a lifetime, because it's a lifetime appointment. Then they take an oath of secrecy to the Queen. Okay? So that's like a lifetime gag order. So even if these guys had any moral fiber, which most of them don't, but if they did, and down the road somewhere they thought, well, this is bull crap, I got to tell the people. Well, you took a lifetime oath of secrecy, so it might get a little troublesome for you to spill the beans, what's going on inside the Privy Council and what the plans are. Everything is long-term planned. The plan for whoever gets in the direction of the country, if you want to call it that, has already been set down long before the election was ever called. So, all the people out there who are going to go to the polls this year, who are angry as hell, and they should be angry, they should be very angry that they've been hoodwinked so long. But the idea that people would even go to the polls to vote shows, a fairly high level of ignorance yet. So hopefully, and it's coming because more and more people, or less and less people, vote with each election. I saw a graph which showed that in the last federal election, was 2011, I think, that 9.3 million people didn't vote. And there's only 34 million thereabout people in the country. So you take out 9.3 million, you split up the rest between the parties. More people didn't vote than voted for the parties. So the we didn't vote should have won the election. Okay, so what happens now, you take the remainder votes and you whittle them down and split them up between the parties. The party that gets to rule your life and continue the misery is nowhere near 50% of the population. Okay, I think the guys that win end up with something like maybe 30% of the vote. So 30% of the people have voted in a party that's going to run 100% of you. That's not, I don't like the word democracy, but we'll use it today. It doesn't sound very democratic, does it? Because the idea of the way they spun democracy to me when I was young was that 51% of the people can tell the other 49 what to do. Well, in these elections, with the winning party having 30% thereabouts, it doesn't even meet the criteria of a democratic vote because you don't have a majority of the people. Anyways, that's kind of where we're at with this election thing. Now, staying with the election for a few minutes, I was asked to if I would consider running in this election yesterday, I believe it was. I got a call from a gentleman who I've met a few times. And he called me at home and asked me if I would consider running in the election, the federal election. And I had considered it, but I unfortunately don't have the cash to run. So he said that he thought he could raise the money so that I would run in this election. And I would just be tickled pink to run. I wish everybody was running. I wish the 9.2 or 3 million people that didn't run in the last federal election would all run. Then we could have some serious fun. And the reason I would like to run in the election is I ran in the 2007 election, provincial election, and also run for mayor in 2010. And I'd never run in an election before 2007, but my voice was shut down as far as mainstream media goes. And, I had actually had a radio station that does talk show, mainstream, that I wanted to get on for a particular subject, and was told in no uncertain terms, there's no effing way you're ever getting on the radio. And that kind of convinced me I should run in the election. And how else are you going to get any media, right? Online's fine, but, mainstream, we got to get to those people as well. So, after I put my name in and got all my names on the paper and all that kind of stuff, and decided to run, I got a call from the same radio station congratulating me for putting my hat in, or putting my name in the hat, and for running. This is the same radio station that had just told me about a week or two prior that there was no effing way I was ever going to get on the radio. And now they're glad all of a sudden to have me on the radio because I'm running in the election. What a farce. I got followed all candidates meeting I went. The same Masons would be at the back of the room trying to stare me down. And the whole thing was quite comical, actually. So I learned a lot about elections. And one of the things I learned is that the candidates don't have a clue what they're talking about. Not a clue. And they're so easy to trip up because all they have is some sound bites. They practice some sound bites. They pretty much know what the questions are. All of the candidates from all of the parties are all geared to the same agenda. So while they discuss the subject, what they do is they throw in a little bit of NDP nuance or green nuance or liberal or conservative nuance. But everybody's on the same board, on the same track here. And it's all a big deception to the public. The public think that they're getting different things from each of the parties, but when you analyze it, it's all the same. A little bit different wording, a little bit different way they go about saying things, but generally all of their platforms match up with each other. That's why you get these parties who scream and yell at each other in the legislature and the House all the time. And they don't want a bill passed, that for some oddball reason they all seem to join in and pass the bill, even though they hate each other's guts, apparently, which they don't. And they're all on the same team. So, I hope I get to run in this election because, what are they going to say? And this is why I encourage other people to run. What the hell are they going to say when you asked all these other candidates from the parties, when you bring it up, you do realize people sitting out in the audience that regardless of who you vote for here, including me, when it's over, whoever won has to take an oath of allegiance to the Queen, Crown, internationalist, globalist. You have to take an oath to a foreign head of state to be beholden to them, not the people. So they cannot represent you. So you go vote for them, and they know they can't represent you. And if they don't know that, they're too ignorant to run. But they can't represent you. So it would be the same in my position. If you refuse to take the oath of allegiance, then you can't sit in the House. You're still elected, but you can't sit in the House. You have to go sit outside the House somewhere. Okay, you don't get to play in the House because you were a bad boy or girl because you didn't take the oath of allegiance to the Queen. So, I wouldn't take the oath if I was elected. I'd have to sit outside the House. I think I still get my paycheck, though. Not sure about that. Maybe I get docked for being a bad boy. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. The point of it is that this is a golden opportunity. We still have time. There's a better part of 2 weeks to still throw your name into the election. It costs you $1,000 to get in. You don't need any signs or that. All you got to do is use the media opportunities that you get, and you'll get plenty of them. And you get interviews from mainstream media, do call-in shows, do all candidates meetings. And, it's an opportunity that I wish people, while we still have time to do it, would consider doing. There's so many people, there's so many radio shows out there bitching about politicians. Well, the politicians aren't really the problem. I keep saying this to people. The politicians are just a bunch of puppets. They're not they're not bright people. Trust me. I've been in 2 elections now. Trust me. The people you would be running against are not bright. They're actually quite stupid. So it's not a difficult job to get them on the run because they don't know, for the most part, what they're even talking about. And we have a whole bunch of people that are very well researched, very knowledgeable, who should take the opportunity to run. And I get what a lot of people tell me. Well, why would I run in something I don't believe in? Well, granted, I don't believe in the system either. We got a problem with the system, and it's got to be, tore apart and made to represent the people. If the people you're voting for can't represent you, then the system obviously doesn't work, does it? And we're under globalist corporate control. Now that has to get fixed. The only way we're going to be able to fix it is if we can get some control of something and change the rules, right? We just need a vote, change the rules. We are hereby declaring ourselves an independent country. We're severing all ties with everybody who has a foreign interest here, and that we're going to get back to running the show the way it should have been run from the get-go, by the people, for the people, period. Then we have control over our resources, and that's really, really important because we don't have control over our resources now. We don't have control over our marketing now. We don't have control over our imports, or the imports that are coming in here without any tariffs. Nothing will kill a country faster than the removal of those tariffs, which we've seen. We've seen pretty much all manufacturing removed from this land. We don't make anything here for our own. We're completely dependent on the East to supply pretty much everything. And so they got us by the nuts there, the short and the curlies. And that has to change. This idea that because the media tells people, oh, we got to get rid of the tariffs and the duties because, we want free trade. Well, our standard of living cannot survive free trade. Simple reason. Morris Strong again, who said that they have the cheapest labor. He's in China. That they have, him and his buddies, have the cheapest labor on the planet. Nobody can compete with them. which means you're not going to manufacture anything in your country, this country, because you can't compete. Now that they've got the cheapest labor and they've moved the factories to the east, and basically those factories are nothing more than slave camps, now they're coming after our resources in order to feed those plants. Okay? They need resources, so they're going to come in and rip us off in the West for resources so that they can feed their global factories as they continue to drive us into the ground. So again, if you have the opportunity to run in this election, I don't care where you are in this land. It's a big country. You need to get your name in there and use this opportunity to basically, take a stick and poke it in their eyes, because they won't be able to stand it. They can't deny the reality. They just can't. Well, they can try to deny it, but they can't deny it. So we got them over a barrel kind of thing, and it's really too bad if we miss this opportunity, because regardless of who gets voted in next, and again, that isn't your choice, and even if it was a straight vote, it doesn't matter anyways, because it's more strong. Rockefeller said many, many years ago, when Rockefeller was considered running in the Trudeau government, Rockefeller says, what do you want to do that for, right? Well, we can get a lot more done from outside than inside. Besides that, we own all sides, right? We control both sides. So what's the difference, right? There's no point you being here. It's just a waste of your time. A lot of aggravation too, and you got to play that stupid game of pretending you represent people. So, Morris Strong never ran. But he's caused us an awful pile of harm, him and his buddies, his cronies. He brought us Agenda 21. Your local level's implementing Agenda 21, even though they deny it. And they've been doing it since what's going on here? Oh my. I don't know. I just got a request here to cover JJ's show. I don't know, buddy. I've been feeling that good today. I was kind of looking forward to doing 1 hour and getting out of here tonight, because I've been feeling that good. So I don't know when his show's on. It's on in half a friggin' hour when my show's over. I don't know, buddy, that I can do another hour. I really don't know if I can or not. Maybe I can drag somebody else in here. I don't know. We'll have to see. Are you up a tree or in jail or what? I'm gonna let's see, maybe if I can drag somebody else in here, because I'm really not up to doing another hour and a half without somebody in here. If I can get somebody who comes in wanna yammer away for another hour and a half, that'd be fine. Possibly. Anyways, leave it with me. Anyways, back to this election, this stuff. I really would like, this chat doesn't seem to be working today either. Oh, here it is. I I got the chat finally. Now this makes it much better. Um, uh, I will do JJ show, will I? I'm getting ganged up on here. Um, I had a half a supper because I ran out of time before the show started. Anyways, I'm just going to talk about this election for a little bit more. I want people to understand how important this damn thing is, right? I've been online here doing these radio shows for the better part of 10 years now. And each time we come to an election cycle, in between the election cycles, everyone's always, bitching and complaining. People are bitching about chemtrails. They're bitching about Monsanto. They're bitching about Agenda 21. They're bitching about their hydro bills. They're bitching about their taxes. They're bitching about their gas prices and their food bills and every other thing under the sun. They're bitching about the pedophilia going on in the school system. And the teaching children how to be good masturbators at the age of 5. I mean, it's ludicrous what's going on. So in between each of these election cycles, I always hear all of this stuff, and the internet is just alive with people complaining about it. Sign a petition, stop this. Sign a petition, stop that. Well, history states petitions don't work. Protesting doesn't work. They love it when you protest and send them petitions. They just love it because that's the perfect indication that you ain't going to get up and do anything. This is a golden opportunity. If I do end up running, which I really hope these guys come up with the money so I can run, I don't intend to win. They wouldn't let me win anyways. And the last election I was in for mayor here was a perfect example of that. It's not going to happen. But if I do run, I know exactly what's going to happen. Okay, if I get my name in to run in the federal election, every candidate office and everybody working for the other candidates is going to say this. They're all going to it'll be a chorus. They're going to go, oh, shit, Ron's running. Because they know what I'm going to do to them in the all candidates meetings. They know what I'm going to do to them on the call-in shows. Okay, and this is all mainstream, man. It's beautiful. There's none of them that don't know that I know what the hell I'm talking about. And they know that I am not going to dick around playing stupid games with these guys. I really, really hope I get to run. And I really can't. I know and the election's already been called, but we still got the better part of 2 weeks to get in. I want everybody that's listening to this to consider running. It's $1,000 in. You want to make some signs, you can do signs for like $1 a sign printed both sides. I mean, it's maybe cheaper if you get them stateside, but I got the last set of signs in this past municipal election. I had a couple of friends that ran, and we got them out of Winnipeg for, I think it was less than $1 a sign or something. It was brilliant. They were beautifully done signs. So, the expense isn't that high. You don't have to spend $1 million to run in the election. All you're interested in is getting the media coverage, which you will get. You have the same access to that media as the top players do. And you get to do these all candidates meetings. And I tell you, it's a freaking hoot. It's a comedy show, man. It's absolute comedy. You go in there and you play it like, what do you call that? I can't think of the name right now. Comedy by the seat of your pants, or whatever they call that. And because you can just play off everything they're saying, because they're all going to say the same thing basically, and then you can just come out of left field on them. And last time I ran, you just see them looking at me, going, "Oh man, don't go there, don't go there. We can't cover that angle." It's too freaking funny. People are waking up. I know a lot of people have been at this for a long time, are frustrated as hell, but people are waking up. They're getting their backs against the wall. They don't understand what's going on. Now they want to understand what's going on. So this is a golden opportunity to get out in the public where they're looking to hear things, okay? They're coming to these all candidates meetings because they want to hear what the candidates have to say. Our job is to explain to the audience that the candidates from the parties are not really telling you the truth. Now, you don't have to call them out and out liars. You just want to explain to them basically how this process works. And you know, that the country is a corporation and you can't deny it. And that the Queen Crown is head of state, you can't deny it. That the politicians all take an oath of allegiance to the Queen, not the people. They can't deny that, okay? And that the cabinet is nothing more than the board of directors of the company, which nobody can deny. So you know, the amount of fun you can have as you watch these people wilt, because they got no comeback. They got nothing. It's brilliant. They have absolutely nothing. I mean, I know a lot more in 2015 than I did in 2007. And I'm much better armed in 2015 than I was in 2007. 2007, I mainly ran, that's when the renewable energy thing was a real disaster here and kicking up. And so that was, you know, one of the main issues around here. So, you know, over the last 8 years, I've gathered an awful pile of knowledge. And, you know, back in 2007, I actually thought Canada, in 2007, I actually still thought Canada possibly was a country. You know, I was getting over the idea that the politicians could do anything or would do anything to help the people. I'd figured that out. But, you know, once it, you know, over the last 8 years, uncovered a whole lot of stuff, and there's no denying it now at all. I mean, even the Attorney General's office in Ontario here agrees that we never left the feudal system. Okay, the same feudal systems our forefathers got on the boats to get away from has never not existed here. It's always existed here, and it's a company, it's a corporate. We're a corporate nation, and I don't think too many people will be really happy about that once they completely figure it out. I really can't see it, especially when they find out that all of their resources are being stolen, and that all of the taxes they pay. All the income tax that they're forced to pay, that they've been told since the beginning that your taxes, I still hear people, well, we have to pay our taxes. Well, why is that? Well, because it goes to help build the roads and the schools and the hospitals. We'd be screwed if people didn't pay their taxes. Wrong answer. Okay. And I have agreement with that on Revenue Canada when they were giving me a hard time. Basically told them that you want to send me some documentation saying that anything that I might send you is going for the express purpose of the benefit of the people, and then we can discuss it. But until you can show me that documentation, because I now understand that all of the taxes that are collected just go to the international bankers. And then the government borrows more money, which puts us farther in a hole, which means we got to up our taxes, which means that the international bankers just collect more money. So there's so many subjects that can be exposed during this election. So I got my fingers crossed that we're going to be able to pull this out. Uh, I'd thought about it, and I just at this point in time can't bloody well afford to run anything anywhere. So when I got that call yesterday, the gentleman said, are you going to run? And I said, can't afford it. And he says, well, if we raise the money. I said, if you raise the money, I'm in. And he asked me if I would consider running for the Libertarian Party. And I said, no, 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 I won't be running for any party. I'm running as an independent. Because the Libertarian Party, while it's a side party and hasn't got a hope in hell of getting in anyways, is really not being that honest, or they don't have the knowledge. Because if they're running, any party that's running saying they want to fix Canada and they want to represent you, well, they're not exactly being what you could call honest, or they don't have the knowledge. Because, if Libertarian took every seat in the country, they still couldn't represent you. So there's no point running for a party. And so I'm not going to do that. Yeah, if I could just get Prime Minister Harper to kick in some cash, I'd be really impressed. Uh, I should phone them. I have called their office before up in Ottawa about some other matters, and maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I'll phone the Prime Minister's office. Hey, you guys got the Treasury, right? And you've bled everybody here dry, and you took my license, and you made it so I can't rent my house because you took the meter when you're pushing this Agenda 21 crap. So you kind of owe me, right? Like I lost $15,000 in rent this year because I don't have a meter on the house. They won't bring it back, even though I haven't done anything wrong. They just don't like what I say. And so they've been trying to grind me for a long, long time, and it's been very, very expensive going. And I think what I'll do tomorrow, I'll phone up Prime Minister Harper's office and ask them if they want to kick in $500,000. I mean, they just send $5 million here and $2 billion there overseas constantly. So maybe they'll be nice and fork it up for one of their own, or not one of their own, but somebody that lives here. That would be sweet. But now, and I'll promise that's what I'll do. I'll tell them, if you kick in on my election, I promise to become bilingual. How's that? That would be my sales pitch to them. I would like to hear Ron bitch slap AJ. What's AJ? Is that Alex Jones? Yeah. I already bitch slapped him a long time ago. Called into his show years ago. I called into his show, and I think I have a recording of the call that I made to AJ. I don't know if it's on YouTube or where the hell it is, but that boy, I tell you, he's got some serious problems. It was fun, though, calling in, but I can't call into AJ's show anymore, if that's what we're talking about, because I'm not allowed anymore because I made him look silly. And he didn't appreciate it. But I did give him the solution to America's problems. It's got to be, I don't know, it's a long time ago since I called in there. And that was all politics, too, When I first ran into Alex Jones, all I heard saucing out a bullhorn yelling 1776 all the time. And I go, okay, that makes sense, I suppose. Yeah, if I find that recording, I'll get it into the chat or up on my blog. It may be on my blog, or it may be already in my YouTube. I'll go looking for it. I got some pretty good comments out of that. But real quick, with the time we have left, because this is still kind of politics, American politics, Canadian politics, is all a crock of nonsense. And I'm always talking about people be aware of deception or controlled opposition shows and people. But I did real quick. I just called in and I said, you've been on air apparently for 14 years or so, and I listened to you a bit, but I don't hear any solutions coming out of you. I hear a lot of fear mongering and stuff, but it's like cancer, right? If you cure the problem, then you're out of business, right? So you got to keep the business running. So, I just told him, I said, I don't know what the big deal is. You got 310 million people in America. You need, you got these million-man marches all the time. You'd probably need, 50,000 would be a nice number, but you could easily pull it off with 10,000, no sweat. And I just explained to him that you simply walk into the White House and you arrest them. You might want to take 5,000 or better people to do that, but you don't have to be shooting at anybody. You just walk in and arrest them. It's that simple. And then you get, just like the globalists did when they took over the newspapers a way long time ago to control the media, you're going to do the same thing. You just go in and get some engineers with you and some talking heads that know what the hell they're talking about. You walk in there, you take over the station. You don't have to be ugly about it. You don't have to be shooting at anybody. You explain to them that you're taking over, and they're going to make some public announcements here shortly. And you are just going to go in and arrest these guys at the White House, and then you are going to make the announcements on all the major media, and that the reverse coup has been accomplished. You see, you're not attacking the government, okay? The government of the United States stole your country, okay? They pulled off a coup with the Fed, and I mean, how did this president get executive order? That's dictatorship land. All the rest is the horse and the dog and pony show. As long as the president has executive order, then the rest of it doesn't matter. Okay, they can do whatever they want, and he's the dictator. It's that simple. He is the CEO of the company known as the United States. He got nothing to do with America. Okay, they pulled a coup. So all you want to do is pull a reverse coup. You want to take back what was stolen from you. You have every right to take it back. That's the law. Okay, so you're not operating outside of the law. You're just taking back what was stolen from you. So anyways, so AJ goes, well, that won't work. And I go, why won't it work? Of course it'll work. Okay? It'll work fine. And so he says, well, I said, why won't it work? And he said, well, because if we did that, then they wouldn't televise it, and they'd let off truck bombs and that and blame it on us. Well, how would they televise it? You have the media. Okay? I already told you what to do. You got the media. And who's going to be letting these truck bombs off? Right? Anyways, he had a retired general there that day. And you would wonder what a retired general is doing on Alex Jones' show, hint, hint. But so Alex said, I got this Canadian on the horn here is telling us we just walk in and take it over. Walk into the White House and arrest everybody. And I told him it won't work. And the general says, yeah, well, that won't work. Well, that's what I told the Canadian. I told him it wouldn't work. You tell him, General. You tell him why it won't work. And this just busted me up. Because the retired general, I don't remember what his name was, but he goes, because if we did that, when we got to the White House, there'd be nobody there. They would have all run away. Cha-ching. And that's proof positive because history does repeat itself because the Americans came up and burned down our legislature on the West Coast a long time ago. And we, I guess the British, went back down to Washington and burned down the White House. But when they got there, they were kind of surprised because they were expecting a real battle on their hands. And when they got there, everybody had run away. So this idea that you need to fear these people is completely wrong. These people are in fear of you, and they've kind of figured that someday the people are going to walk in and say, you know what? You're under arrest. Okay? You stole our country, and we're taking it back. It's that simple. Plain and simple. So it's not a huge deal. But Alex didn't. I don't think he appreciated what I had to say. Not my problem. I don't deal in anything, hopefully, but reality. And I'm not a person who will ever talk about running around shooting at people. That's just plain silly. Don't need to, right? You walk in there, you best be armed. You best be prepared to shoot, but you probably don't need to. And the other thing about history, which proves itself out over and over and over again, anytime a coup takes place, the population just goes along with it. Okay? If people walked into the White House between now and the election, they arrested everybody in there, arrested the Congress and the Senate, arrested the whole damn works of them, because they're all pushing Agenda 21. They're all working for the international globalists. Every one of them's a liar, so they deserve to be arrested. And the general public is not going to even get upset. You know, all it has to be is a statement. Everything is back to normal, folks. Welcome back to America. Say goodbye to the United States, all cap corporation, and say hello to capital A, small letters after that, America. Done. Plain and simple. But people live in fear, they're brought up in fear, and they can't bring themselves to do what they know they need to do. So instead of doing what needs to be done, we've heard Americans for, 2 terms now, bitching and complaining about Obama. That's not his real name. Obama's not an American. Obama's a communist. Obama's gay. His wife's a man. And all this nonsense. That's 2 terms. Wasted. And it's the same thing up here. People are screaming and bloody murder. We got to get Harper out of here. We got to get rid of that boy. Same thing down in the States. Now, we all know from past history, it doesn't matter who gets in very short order. We'll have the happy time where people are going, we got rid of that sucker. Yay, look at us. Whoa, wow, look what we accomplished. With short order after that, within, I would suspect, 1 or 2 months, you're going to go, why is this new dick we elected doing the same thing as the dick we just threw out? Well, simple, because they work for the corporation. They're the board of directors. Who you elects the CEO of that corporation? But America, just like Canada, signed on to the United Nations. And Canada, just like America, is a state of the United Nations. And all of your elected officials are quietly implementing the wants and wishes of the United Nations. And what do the United Nations want? They wish to destroy the industrialized West. That would be us. And they want to take all of our resources and move them east to power up and feed the slave factories that they've created over in China and the Philippines and other places. So we also have an obligation, not just to our own people, we have an obligation to free those slaves in those factories. Okay? We need to start up our own factories back here and put our people to work. We need to put the duties and the tariffs on so that we can compete. We don't need to compete because there is nothing that we cannot grow, design, engineer, manufacture right here on our lands in our 2 countries to give everybody a very good lifestyle make sure everybody has a home, everybody's got food on the table, everybody's got a job, put some pride back into people. You will find that people stop shooting at each other. You will find the drug use will start to drop almost instantly because people once again have some pride in their people. They see a future of which most people don't see much of a future now. Okay, they're depressed. They're seeing their neighbors being thrown out of their houses, people that used to work full time who are not lazy people, living now in campers and stuff on the side of a road. How can we be proud of ourselves or our people when we've allowed this to happen to us? I have no idea. But we got to get to work. We got a lot of work to do. But this idea of that we'll just keep getting out of their way is not going to end in a happy place. We're going to have to push them out of here and take back our resources and our land properly, because everything, that's the last thing I want to say before I go off the air, everything that was accomplished on these lands, America and Canada, and I'm not being rude, when I'm saying this, I'm talking about Australia, New Zealand, and Britain, everywhere else, except for the Queen's people. I'm talking about the people. Everything that was ever built or accomplished in any of these lands was done so by the people. No politician ever built anything. Politicians don't grow stuff, okay? Politicians are nasty. They take. They're like a bunch of ticks on the back of a dog sucking his blood slowly. Everything that was ever done on these lands was done by the people. And therefore that people own the lands. We possess the lands, possession 90% of the law. We got to get with the program and decide soon that we're going to act accordingly. And when these people started showing up with paper, well, we passed a new bylaw, or we passed a new legislation, and now if you fart, you have to pay a carbon tax. And yes, we're going to put electronics in your car, and we're going to tax you plus the gas tax. But every kilometer or mile you drive, we'll be sending you a bill. Yes, and you won't be able to use as much water you used to. I mean, we got to stop this crap, man. You know, it's much easier to push back when your shoulders aren't already against the wall. Okay? You don't want to get pinned to the wall because it's much harder to maneuver from there. So we got our election going up here, whether I get into it or not. I hope. I got my fingers crossed. I think we can pull this off before we run out of time. And next year, America gets to vote. And that is exactly why the TPP didn't go through. Okay, they want to get these elections out of the way before they move again. So we've got that much time to get this straightened out, and that's what we need to do. I hope I'm not preaching too much, but it's just the way I feel. Anyways, I think we're just about out of this show. I want to thank Jules in particular. I did finish up my new banner. I didn't get it to you yet, Jules. I'll send it right after the show. And I want to thank Jules so much for giving me Tuesday and Thursday night from 7 to 8. And I really do appreciate that. I've been anxious to get a couple more hours a week. And she's done it for me. So, I really want to thank her. I hear music. I got a note from JJ that Jules is going to do the show. So thank you, Jules. Thank you to JJ for the heads up. Thanks to listeners, those in the chat. You can listen to Game On, hosted on
They shoot, they kill, they master, correct.